What I have here is the latest single DD IEM from KBear. KBear was a lot more popular a couple of years ago, but at this point of time they have lost a bit of sparkle, or you will have to say the excitement these days. But Keep Hi-Fi has kept KBear alive. Now with the Tourbillion Pro, okay, Tourbillion. I'm not exactly sure why Tourbillion Pro, because there is no Tourbillion at this point of time. I got myself a Aureus cable. Now this Tourbillion is with, if I'm not wrong, Type C connector. Okay, so I had to get a higher resolution upgrade cable for the IEM. So this is the Aureus cable. Let's have a look at the specification. We are getting a 10 mm dynamic driver, 19 ohm of impedance. Sensitivity is a bit on the lower side at 100 dB, which is reasonable but slightly on the lower side when compared to others. Okay, 100 dB is enough, but we usually see 110, 115, sometimes even 120 with IEM. So 100 dB is slightly on the lower side. Let's open it up. Good box, good packaging, no issues with that. Nice. So we are getting KBear social, Facebook. I'm not exactly sure if we have any app for this Type C cable, but let's have a look at that first before we move on to the earpieces. Okay, no cable is seen here, so here is the cable. Okay, this is the AK cable, AK 31998 or something. So it's not the ESS version, but I opted for a Type C cable because it will be able to be used with a mobile phone without any sources. So that is a definitive convenience, to be precise, in these days where most of the mobile phones do not have any 3.5 mm output options. So I opted for a Type C version. This one is priced at $120. Let's have a look at the earpieces, but just before that we are getting a one button remote here. A reasonable feedback on the remote, nothing special about it. Looks bland, to be precise, but the cable is of good quality. I like this cable, looks reasonable. You guys can see one is slightly silver and slightly gray core. These earpieces though look very interesting, to be precise. We are getting chrome finished shells. Let me show you the gear design. Looks nice, looks very good, to be precise. Glass back, but those gear designs looks nice. Let's have a look at the set of ear tips. We are getting tri ear tips. I'm not going to use those. Let's have a look at the stock ear tips here. No, I'm going to use the tri ear tips, it seems. Not liking this stock narrow board ear tips. In any case, this is the unboxing. Initial impression follows. One thing constant about technology is it keeps changing, and at this point of time I believe our audiophile market is changing. It is shifting from 3.5 mm connectors to Type C connectors. There are a lot of brands and a lot of IEMs now being introduced with DSP connectors, DSP Type C connectors that do not need any dongle or anything else to be used with the mobile phone. And mark my words when I say this, I believe in next 4 to 5 years we will have majority of IEMs available with modular 3.5 mm connectors in the higher price range, and in lower price range the whole scene will shift from 3.5 mm to Type C connectors. For those who are hardcore audiophiles, they will have the option to obviously go into the more expensive 4.4 mm connectors, aftermarket cables. But for majority of us, I believe this is the future in my opinion. This KBear Tourbillion Pro do not come with uh, an app at this point of time. KBear do not have a app for this DSP module, but it does come with two, okay, not three, two two DSP options. Okay, one is from CS and the other one is from ESS, and this is the cheaper CS module and is priced at 110, if I'm not wrong, 110 or $120. Now I was looking for this convenience. Okay, Type C is always more about convenience than sound quality, but to my surprise I was pleasantly happy, pleasantly surprised by the sound quality of this cable. Okay, this CS or CX 31993 31998 DAC chip cable is working perfectly fine with the Tourbillion in my opinion. I did got a 4.4 mm cable, and that definitely helps with bigger staging and slightly better sound attributes, but this cable is not doing a bad job at all. And in my opinion, if you want to spend on the Tourbillion, go for this or the ESS version. Not the ESS version, because the ESS version is very expensive, around 160 $150 if I'm not wrong. So that is slightly more expensive, and I believe not exactly worth it after using the Tourbillion with the CS cable. I will like to say that you do not need to spend a lot on the ESS version, but even though the ESS version is expensive, that was out of stock when I got this one. So you guys can imagine the kind of fan following or admiration people have for the CS DAC chip. In any case, Tourbillion in my opinion is a fantastic IEM for those who are looking for a slightly V-shaped yet a well balanced sounding IEM in the $100 price range. Okay, it's exactly $100 for the 3.5 mm version, but this one is slightly more expensive than that. But at this point of time, what I can tell you is that it's fantastic for those who are looking for a fun, engaging and musical sounding IEM. Okay, it has superb bass performance, and for a dynamic driver IEM, we have a image in our mind that it's going to be loaded with fantastic dynamics. But sometimes what happens is that that dynamic part is not exactly well depicted by the dynamic driver. But that is not the case with the Tourbillion. It kind of delivers some of the best dynamics, control, variation and everything in between is available with this lower end. It's not huge, let me be very clear, it's not a bass head kind of IEM, but it offers one of the best delicate and subtle nuances without any issues. Okay, the kind of subtlety it can offer with the background and even with the foreground instruments decay is fantastic. I really love the way they have done this low end. It's slightly slower with the decay but can be tight when needed. So keep that in mind. It's dynamic. It can change its stance, it can change its presentation dynamically. It is not restrained. It has very good directional cues too. So the kind of definition and resolution this low end is offering, this IEM is offering with the low end is just on a different level. Now if we move on the mid range, that is where this IEM is slightly below par. Okay, I already told you that this is the V-shaped IEM and it does not offer a lot of engagement with the vocals. I kind of felt that they are a bit pushed back, and that's a very common thing for a V-shaped IEM. Okay, so the vocals are not the focus points here, but the instruments around the vocals are aptly energetic. They have the right amount of transparency and clarity to them. No issues with resolution or definition either. Vocals though are on the neutral side. They are not warm, they are not, I'll say, thin or weak or anything like that, but they could have been slightly taller with the notes, and there are no issues with sharpness or anything like that. So that's a very good thing in my opinion. Okay, it does not do anything bad, but the notes could have been slightly fuller, slightly more warmer for a bassy IEM like this. But most of the time what happens is that some bassy V-shaped IEMs are not that great with the vocals, and that's the case with the Tourbillion 2. If we move on to the treble range, it's very well extended. I was not expecting this kind of extension from this one, because maybe I was not used to the kind of performance this IEM is offering at just $100. And the great thing is it has good Z-axis depth with the treble instruments. Okay, the layering of the instruments in the treble range is very well done. It has very good amount of air, very good height, very good energy, very good sparkle. Agility could have been slightly faster, but this slightly slower agility is offering very good cohesion in my opinion. Okay, it has very good subtlety with the background instruments too. Fantastic subtlety, very good engagement factor. And if you have a budget of around $110, you should definitely consider the KBear Tourbillion and go for the Type C version. If you do not want to use it with a USB DAC amp, or if you want to use an IEM on the go for the Type C version. So this is it. This is my initial impression of the KBear Tourbillion Pro, exclusively available on Keep Hi-Fi. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Enjoy.